Welcome to book club, week 2 of book club. We are reading Ungirls by Lauren Bukes again. This is a really good book. It's also not even a book, it's a short story. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can both read it and listen to it on Audible for free. So, a man named Angelo is making lasagna, okay? It's his favorite thing to make for his wife because it's his wife's favorite meal. He even has a single rose placed in a vase on the table because his wife loves it, okay? It's his wife's favorite. And then from across the room, in Nat's voice, Nat's is our main character, if you remember, we hear, "How was your day, darling?" And Angelo tells his wife about his idiot boss and how he deserves a pay raise because he's the only competent one in the office. And his wife responds, again, in Nat's voice, "I think I understand, my love." "I know, baby. You always do," Angelo responds. And they continue eating their dinner together, having a grand old night. And a few moments later, Peggy, Angelo's wife, sitting in front of her untouched lasagna, says, "How was your day, my darling?" But before we get into all those stories, let's go back to where we left off last week, okay? Nats is sitting at a table with her friends talking about her latest voiceover job, and the lingering question we, as the audience, have is, what the fuck is a grow job? Yeah, one of her friends says, "I still don't understand how anyone could have sex with one of those things. It doesn't even have a head. Did you know that? It's gross." "Don't you eat lab grown meat though?" Nats responds. "Yeah, but you couldn't pay me to fuck it." Okay, so remember when I introduced you to the Organigrow organ donors, okay? The, pale white bags of meat that just grow livers or spleens or, I don't know, hearts maybe for, the super rich, because instead of buying a organ on the black market, they can just go and buy one that was grown in a lab specifically for them and everything will be fine. Well, those things, they don't have heads and they don't have limbs unless limbs are needed for the replacements. And they're in these pale white bags of meat and they don't have spicy parts. Okay. The parts that you would use for spicy times, those don't exist on these things. So no one in their right mind is gonna want to, you know, smush their spicy parts up against it, you know? You shouldn't anyway. And if you do, you probably belong in somebody's facility. But there is a company that wants you to. Okay. Introducing the third and final addition to the Organigrow family, the Organigrow Organigirl, affectionately called the Grow Job. Gone are the days of waiting for the girl of your dreams to swipe right on you on Tinder, or appreciate your humor on the first date, or even feel the need to like you at all. For the low price of $20,000, you can have the girl of your dreams delivered straight to your home in conjunction with a Bahama based teledildonics is still something that blows my mind. Company, we've replaced the slimy, cold, lifeless torso of the organ donor with the real feel skin that is temperature controlled to mimic that of a real girl. So they've taken it a step further, okay? They went from growing chicken and beef and pork in a lab to growing bodies that can grow organs for you in a lab to now girlfriends in a lab. There's even a separate company that makes the heads. Because remember, these things don't have heads. Lots of different heads, so you can customize your new girlfriend to your heart's desire. You want a brunette with a cute button nose? We've got you. You want a redhead with eyes black as your soul? We can do that too. And there's a huge library of voices you can download to further customize your new bae. You want a sassy girl with a southern twang? A California girl you can pretend to be your office secretary? How about husky voices? Do those do it for you? And in the event you get tired of her, just, pop her head off, download a new voice, and you've got a different girlfriend. I mean, a completely new person. I mean, a new doll. I'm not sure anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, and also, okay, also, the biggest draw to these girl jobs. Let's say you get sick while you're dating, owning, whatever, one of these girls. Okay, let's say you need a new liver. You just head to the hospital, have them cut her open, and boom, new liver for you. Girlfriend be damned. One thing I really love about this book is the multiple ways that it chooses to tell the story, okay? Part of it is told in third person, where we're looking at Nats and the things that happens around her, or we're looking at people who own grow jobs and the things that happen around them. Part of it's told in first person, where we are Nats and we get to experience the things that happen around us. And part of it's like news articles that you get to read. We'll get into one of those later. But also, we've got Reddit, because Reddit is everywhere and it's everything. And there's a huge grow girl population on Reddit. Not a grow girl population, but like people who have grow girls on Reddit, okay? And the biggest population, the subreddit is called r/adopt a grow girl. One Redditor posted, and this is his post, okay? This isn't my post. This is actually kind of disgusting. This very good grow girl came home with me today. Meet Mandy, 18 years old, fresh out the vat and perfect in every way. And he includes pictures of this blank faced girl, doll, in a panda onesie sitting on the edge of the bed. And someone responds, because this is Reddit, "Fuck yeah, boy, you put her through the paces yet? What do you think? She's been here for 5 minutes already." Also, like, sir, that's a weird flex because it's been 5 minutes, but go off, I guess. Somebody else comments, "What are her specs? What's her depth?" And someone responds, "Depth? She doesn't have any." So not everyone wants more photos, specific photos, okay, specific angles and specific lighting. But the original poster is like, no, no, she's my girl. Okay, she's just for me. Mind your business. So everybody's up in arms in the comments, like, come on, bro. You know it's bros over hoes and bros over grows. So again, let me ask you, do you feel like this is safe? And by safe, I mean like, obviously people are fucking these things, right? But they could be doing other things with them too. So are we desensitizing the rapists and the murderers of the world by giving them a girl that has no thoughts of her own and no rights and thus no protections? Or are we giving those same people a victim-free outlet for the most depraved, for their most depraved thoughts and ideals? Like, think about it. It's not like these girls are real, real. They aren't sentient. They don't feel pain. And sure, they can't consent to anything, but they don't have rights anyway. So, one thing they do have, though, is some semblance of a nervous system. They can't control their own movements. They can't choose to move. They can't say, oh, I'm going to raise my left leg. But if you start moving them in a certain way, they can then continue that movement. Anyway, tell me your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Both are correct. Some will feel the urge for more and make actual victims, and some will be content with the doll. True. At the same time, the mindset of somebody who would purchase a grow girl is what could be dangerous. And that was my thought too. Like, if you're already at the point where you're like, I want to do bad things to someone, let me buy a grow girl. You're probably already somebody that we should be looking out for, you know? Well, who knows? Okay, so let's get back to Nats. Nats is our main character, okay? And one of the questions at the end of last week's meeting was, is she a sex worker? And the answer is yes, she is. We're pro sex worker here. If you're not, you gotta go. Okay, that's something we don't play about. We're pro sex worker over here. And Nats genuinely enjoys what she does, okay? She has one client. Well, she has multiple clients, but she has this one client named Hank, and he's pretty cool. Hank loves his wife. Okay, he has a real wife, not a grow girl wife. He has a real wife. He says that she's wonderful, amazing, beautiful, fulfills his every whim except for this one. Okay, there's this one thing that she will not do, and he just feels like he needs it. She won't peg him. And that's something that he really wants. It's just an itch that he needs scratched. And that's where Nats comes in. She scratches that itch for him. And then he goes back to his wife and lives his very best life. So on this particular day, she's readying the house for a visit from Hank. Yes, peg. She's readying the house. Do you know what pegging is? It's scratching the itch deep down in Browntown. Yes. So on this particular day, she's readying the house for a visit from Hank. Okay. She adds the rubber sheet to the bed. She lays out some toys and she places her phone in the bowl by the front door. Okay. Nats has two rules when it comes to doing her thing. Rule number one is no phones. No electronics at all, actually. You put all of your electronics in the bowl by the front door and they stay there until the session is over. And she abides by this rule as well. Okay. She's not playing. So she puts her phone in the front bowl and she goes and she waits for Hank. Rule number 2 is she comes before you do. So if you're hiring Nats for a job, you better be ready to please her first. Cool. So Hank gets to work, okay, taking care of rule number 2 so that he can get that itch scratched. But he's starting to get agitated. Do you need to check that? He asks. Your phone's been blowing up. So Nats usually puts her phone on Do Not Disturb, but I guess she forgot this time. And yeah, it has been blowing up. So she apologizes and she goes to check it. She realizes she has 12 missed calls from her mom and 6 from her sister. At this point, she thinks somebody has died. She's really worried. So as she's holding her phone, it starts to buzz again. It's her mom, and she answers, "Hello?" And the way her mom says her name, Natalie, it breaks her. She knows that something's up. So she apologizes to Hank. She says, "Hank, I'm so sorry. I have to go right now. I'll reschedule you. I'm so sorry." And Hank, being the stand-up man that he is, even offers to drive her to her mom's house, but she would never cross a line like that, okay? She's a goddamn professional. So she calls an Uber. And once she gets in the Uber, that's when she realizes what's happened. She gets on Twitter and hashtag cookie cutter exposed is trending. Now the whole world knows that it's her voice in the grow jobs. But that's where we're going to leave it this week. The last part will happen next week. If you haven't read the book, now's the time to read the book, okay? If you haven't listened to the book, now's the time to listen to the book, okay? It only takes like an hour and it's such a good book. There's so much that I haven't even touched in the synopsis that I've done so far that has already happened. Like there are news articles. I didn't even talk to you guys about the cannibalism, okay? You want to go back and talk about that real quick? Because I meant to talk about that. Cannibalism. It's called Ungirls by Lauren Bukes. So one of the other things that people weren't thinking about when it came to these girls was cannibalism, okay? In the book, there's a news article about a Florida, because it's always Florida, a Florida restaurant head chef who was under investigation for serving grow job meat to the restaurant patrons without their knowledge. And it's completely legal because there's nothing illegal about eating a grow girl. There's nothing illegal about it because grow girls don't have rights. Although the FDA did say that it could present some of the same issues that actual cannibalism could present, like some of the same diseases that you could get from eating actual human flesh, but it's not illegal. So, do your thing. Yeah, read the book, bro. Read the book. It's such a good book.